We spoke to Richard Dunn and he said that you've completely changed the way City play since you arrived. You allowed Pep to play the system. I want to get your thoughts, because obviously you...
whether I think he's a good player.
Well,
he's here. He's got the thing in the background. Yeah, of course, he's fantastic.
Just whether he's been transformational in terms of City's style, because I think we couldn't really play Pep's game before Kyle came, and by having that energy and that pace at fullback, it's revolutionised.
Yeah,
everything.
for me personally, I think it says a lot that Pep Guardiola has been one of the most consequential managers in the history of football. Has had certain players who've been there for the longest time, and there's been a lot of success based upon that. You know, and that level of continuity, it has to form a bedrock of how he wants to play. So people like Kyle, he's talking about Bernardo Silva, I know there's as well Edison. Like, the team has transformed, and the style of play that they've had across those years has been really, really significant. And for myself, you know, I always feel better when I see Kyle's name on the team sheet, you know what I mean? But maybe I'm biased because he's old like me, you know what I mean? But it's it does mean a lot, and I think what Dunny says is true. I think you mentioned the people who came before, like Dunny, like Zabaleta and so on, and they were great for that time. But like, Kyle has been perfect for this time.
Taken to a new level.
And it's so interesting because when you first came, as was the case with others, like question marks, ooh, that's a big fee. Ooh, that's a big fee. But then it feels like you've all gotten better, to the point where everyone all of a sudden doesn't remember the fee and just assuming that this is the player you were when you first came.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the outside noise, if you know what I'm saying.
See, time at City's been super successful, but you've also enjoyed this really good period with England. I know you've really loved that, haven't you? What is it about the setup, Gareth, what he's done? You know, John Stones loves it, you love it. What's he created there? What's different from previous England regimes?
I think we're all, you know, relatively the same age, or we're all playing against each other week in, week out in the Premier League at, you know, tough games and top oppositions. But he's made it like club football, but internationally. So obviously you do go away and you spend a period of time where the rooms are like this and you're trapped, you're in it. And especially even when we went through COVID, you know, we couldn't see anyone through the Euros. And I just think it just made us so close together as a team. There's no seating arrangements. There's no, okay, well, the Man City lads sit down there and the Liverpool lads sit up there. We're all together. And anyone can sit with anyone. And I think that's where we've probably progressed a little bit more than when we were first there, where we had good players, we had a great team. But I don't think the togetherness was there. It was more, okay, I'm here doing my job. I want to do well for myself.
Yeah.
So I don't get the criticism. But I've still got one eye on the fixture next week because it's a Manchester derby or it's a North London derby, and I need to keep one eye on that as well.
Are you looking after Rico? Because he's mentioned that he very much looks up to you, and obviously he's a young player making his way in the game. Are you kind of trying to help him, and what do you think of him as a prospect? I
think Rico's unbelievable. I think his brain and how his brain works, for a young player, is fantastic. There's still things he needs to sharpen upon. I don't think he's the finished article by a million miles because it takes time. You know, he's going to come under games where he's going to be under pressure, he's going to have setbacks, and I've always said to any youngster that I've ever spoke to that, you know, it's about the top 10%. We all can play football, we wouldn't be here. But when you get the knockback, or when you do play really well and something knocks you back, how do you then react off of that? Some people can't deal with it. I've seen a lot of players in my time come and go where technically I think they was far better than me, but I feel just mentally I don't think they had it, and I don't think they wanted to either push themselves that extra 10%, whether that was in the gym or on the field, and they just thought that their ability would take over and they would get them through, because it probably got them through from the age of under 9s to 18s, and then all of a sudden you get into the first team and it's a dog eat dog.
Yeah,
it's a dog eat dog.
Yeah.